It's Energumen opening up a clear advantage in the closing stages. A breath of fresh air over fences is going to stay at the helm of the 2 mile novices. Energumen by a...
Hi everyone, and a very warm welcome, and isn't it nice to be back? Welcome to the Champ.ie podcast. Some of us have been on our summer holidays, others have been at the vets all summer, others have been at the bar all summer. But above all, now the jump season in the UK moving a significant gear up this weekend with Cheltenham's 2 days on Friday and Saturday, and then the small matter of Aintree on Sunday. And of course, also on Sunday, got the Munster National Limerick, not a race I know anything about, of course. But one way and another, this is a great weekend to say welcome back to Champ.ie. And I'm delighted to say sponsored by a Stablemate, our brand new racing app. And we thank them for their support of this spectacular production. It's spectacular because it has the star names, and it will do throughout the winter. It also has 2 top panelists. Let me introduce them to you in no particular order. The stars are out every time this man rides exclusive across the Irish field. And he's the tipping I was about to say what Liz Truss is to government, but I wouldn't dare. Ronan Groome, welcome. Nice to see you back and enjoyed your summer. And the incomparable chairman of the Energumen fan club. I'm on bets that he's going to mention it 50 times or more during the course of the next 8 months, Mr. Barry Doyle. Lads, just first and foremost, it's great to be back, and no one be in any doubt, particularly with a very strong Irish challenge from Gordon Elliott, John McConnell, and others. Even Mr. Mullins sending one across with Brian Hayes up. Cheltenham this weekend does mark very much upping the ante as far as the jump season's concerned.
Absolutely, Mike. Just might jump in. So the Stablemate, it's a brand new app. And for this episode, they have sponsored the episode. And QR code on screen right now. You can basically download the app for free. It's a hub for racing fans, basically. Share the tips every single weekend. A full brand new card as well. So it's a really slick looking card. And just Mike, the competition to let viewers know about. And we're going to be running this in conjunction right throughout the season. So basically the prize, €100 free bet. And it is going to be exclusive to the Champ.ie podcast. We're going to be doing the 5cast. So we're going to be previewing 5 races, 5 featured races on every single podcast. But for this episode, €100 up for grabs, or pounds if you like, if Stablemate are feeling generous. And the 5 featured races, to be able to chance of winning, you must get 2 winners or more to go into the big drum, to go into the draw every single week. So basically 5 races, pick your selections. You need to comment them below. The races are on screen running across the bottom, so you let the listeners know the races. And also you must download the app and post them, your selections, on the Stablemate app. So a brand new app, QR code on screen. You can sign up for free. And thanks very much to the sponsors of the episode.
Well, let's get stuck straight into this then. And our opening race of the 5 is the 1 race on Friday. Cheltenham, good to firm. I think they're pleasantly surprised, given that, with the number of runners that they've got here. And we've actually got a full field for one of the handicaps, and there's a big field for the Potemps on the Saturday. But this is not a bad race. The Ballymore Novice Hurdle is the 2:45 on Friday, so it's race 3 on the card. Field of 12, very strong Irish challenge, headed by Music Drive for Davy Russell and Gordon Elliott, and She Is Electric, who's on a hat-trick, to be ridden by Rachel Blackmore. And I wondered, Ronan, whether this horse was named after the jockey.
Yeah, could well be, Mike. I put this horse up. Myself and Barry did the Horses to Follow podcast during the week, and we kind of, Barry asked me for a bonus one at the end, and I was just off the phone to Norman Lee, actually, the Galway trainer who trains this mare, and I put her up kind of thinking she might be a bit of a dark horse for a race like this. She might be, a decent price, but obviously he's gone and booked Rachel Blackmore, which I think always was his intention to book a high-profile jockey with Robbie Gagan, who usually rides this mare, is suspended, unfortunately, and the market hasn't missed her at all, really. She's in there 11-4 favourite, I can see. Look, she was good, Mike, at Gorham Park. She went off at a right good clip there. She's a free-going type of mare, and she came clear with another William Wills horse called Champagne Problem. The pair of them clear. The 4th horse has won since. Norman Lee's having a great summer. He's at 8 winners already. I think that's a seasonal best tally already, so he's well on track to blow his career best out of the water. And this mare, I think he wants to He's running her here basically to see if she's good enough that they can put her away for a Mayor's Novice Hurdle. That's the dream with her. As I said, I just don't think the market has missed her at all. She looks, for a free going type of mare, she's coming up to 2.5 miles around Cheltenham. I just have that in the back of my mind, whether she can sustain her effort. But I wish them the best of luck. The one I'd possibly look at for a bet is another Irish horse, Matthew Smith's Flaming Moon. He's to carry top weight, but he looks like to me that he has probably the best form in this race with Amir Kabir, Gordon Elliott's horse. He beat him at Galway and then he was second to him at Listowel. I think that's pretty strong form. He's the British mark there of 131. Brian Cooper's going over to ride him. Nice travelling type of horse. He's in around 10-1. That'll probably be, I think there are better bets on the card of Friday and Saturday at Cheltenham, but for me, that Flaming Moon would probably be the one there.
Just picking up on a point that Ronan made, Barry, about particularly She's Electric and others. When we come to talk more detail about festivals in February and March, number of times I hear trainers say, she's got Cheltenham experience or he's got Cheltenham experience. It can be very, very valuable. Maybe not, just for this weekend, but, when we come to March.
Yeah, absolutely. No, it's obviously in these type of races though as well, quite lightly raced sorts. You've a good couple of raiders as well from Ireland. Rona mentioned one, She's Electric, obviously Music Drive, Flaming Moon, and John McConnell, of course, does like to target this particular meeting as well. We're going to be hearing from John very, very shortly about his entries this weekend. Wild Shot is in there as well at 14-1. But the one I like is not Irish, and it's Mofasa. It's only had 2 starts, but was on its most recent start, hit the line really, really hard. Now, it does have to give weight to some of its rivals here. It's only is 1-from-1 over hurdles. Good to soft ground over 2.5 miles. So he is proven at the distance. There's a couple in here, obviously move up in trip. But was a very cosy winner, 7 lengths on its most recent start. That was at Dutoxeter on the 2nd of October. So lightly raced, ran a 1 bumper, unplaced, and 1-from-1 over hurdles. Jumped quite well. This 6-year-old son of Okavango. I think he's in there around 8-1. So that'd be my play in here each way. There's lots of unknowns about plenty of these.
Yeah, not now Linda for the Skeletons. Ran nicely and won at Warwick, but steps up in class. So it's an interesting race on the quick ground. We're guessing as to how quick it is. They put a lot of water on Cheltenham to get it the way it is. So that's the first leg. And then we move to Saturday, day 2 of the weekend at Prestbury. There might be a bit of rain around Friday as well, so it might not be quite as fast on Saturday, where the biggest field of the day is in the Pertemps. No surprise there. Starting Pertemps qualifiers in October for next March. I just can't get my head around it. First race we're going to look at is the 205 race 2, £60,000 3-mile handicap chase. And Frodon won this and then went on to win at the festival. So don't think you can't have a festival winner winning a race like this. Trouble is, where do you start looking at it? Of course, Tullybeg is declared on Friday and on Saturday. Unlikely, I suspect, to run twice in 2 days for Gordon Elliott and Davy Russell. If I were pricing this up, you'd be looking at something like the Hollow Ginge, possibly to go off as favourite, with Gordon's other runner, Motown Maggie, a very interesting one. Ronan.
Yeah, you're on the money, Mike, because they have priced it up and Hollow Ginge is there at the top of the market. So you can see the angle there. Yeah, second in the race last season, £10 lower now. Like if you were Nigel Twiston-Davies and you look at the way his kind of season panned out, like this could be his Gold Cup tomorrow. This could be the real opportunity. Obviously goes well fresh and got the course experience, and he might just be ready to run for his life tomorrow with the Hollow Ginge. He's a useful sort of handicap chaser on this day. As I said, he's there at the top of the market and probably deserves to be on that. You can see the angle. As you said, like Gordon Elliott's the interesting kind of like everyone will be kind of latching on to his horses during the weekend. We don't know if Tullybeg will run here or on Friday, and he has another option as well. But I just thought it was interesting, a good point to make. He's only had 4 winners in Ireland in October over jumps, Gordon, and traditionally, October, November is when he really starts motoring. He trained 50 winners in October, November last season. 70% strike rate in October, 20% in November. Just hasn't got it going yet. And Gordon will probably tell you straight away, he's had loads of seconds. He's had 12 seconds But I'm sure it's literally around the corner now with Darren Royal coming up as well, and I know he targets this meeting that he can get it going. And I won't be surprised if he has 4 or 5 winners again this weekend. But just something to bear in mind if he did have another quiet weekend. Tully Beg has got his chance if he does run here. The one I do like though, I go for one of the bigger price here and latch on to Gordon's old protege, Ollie Murphy, who's going to run the Wolf here. He's got nice Cheltenham form. He was second to fullback in a race here. I think it was New Year's Day. That was a good run, and he ran well in another handicap chase after that, a long distance race up at Musselburgh. He's had a wind up since. His first time out here. He's basically off the same mark when he ran second to fullback. That was probably a better race than this, to be honest. And I saw he was in around 12 to 1. I thought that was a fair enough price each way. So the Wolf would get my vote.
And Barry, what about this for you? I mean, the Hollow Ginge, I think the publicans will be hope of where Nigel Twiston Davis trains will be desperate for the Hollow Ginge to win because the party's booked till about Tuesday. But the thing about this race is you can't really put a line through anything and say no chance, can you?
He's on mute there. You're on mute?
You're on mute, Barry.
Sorry, boys. Not a strong fancy. The one for support, the Hollow Ginge, gets plenty of weight. The 9-year-olds could be coming down to, I suppose, a decent mark now, 127. But the one, I suppose, look, I thought he was overpriced. Neville's Cross potentially each way. You're going to have probably more than 10 runners on Saturday in this contest, more than 8 runners, I should say. This is a big old price. He's in there chalked in at 12s. Neville's Cross was a winner on its most recent and quite lightly raced as well. 7-year-olds. He's 5 wins over fences to date and has only gone up £5 for his last win. So that'd be the way I play. Has form on good ground and over the distance. Tom Lacey, you know I'm a big Tom Lacey fan, but I think this horse could run well at a big price. He's coming in decent form, has been freshened up since his most recent run. So not a strong play, but you know what? For the sake of the 5 cast and the Canadian, I think he's a big old price, 12 to 1. That's Neville's Cross, the top weight.
So we move on to the interesting. It is a very intriguing race, the smallest field of the day. 5 runners, Masterton Holdings Hurdle, and it's all about the rematch from Aintree, where Pied Piper and Night Salute dead heated. Night Salute got the race in the stewards room. I can't get out of my mind what Pied Piper did at Cheltenham, Ronan, in his trial. And I've never seen a horse speed up the hill like it. But I also think that we ruled Dr. Parnassus totally out at our peril.
I agree.
What do you make of it?
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing between them, literally. They dead heated him, Pied Piper and Night Salute last time out. And you're right, you did mention already, Mike, the course form is huge here. Night Salute, of course, has a course and distance win himself, and he closed the gap significantly in Pied Piper at Aintree, and maybe Pied Piper can have resume his kind of superiority over Night Salute back at Cheltenham. But I absolutely agree with you as well that I don't think this is a 2-horse race, and I think the market probably is concentrating solely, probably too much. The percentage of the market has already gone to Pied Piper and Night Salute, and maybe by the time we come closer to the off, the market kind of sorts itself out a bit. But potentially at the moment, Dr. Parnassus and Joseph Bryan's filly there, Bella Scintilla, I think they're players here. Like Dr. Parnassus ran quite well in the Triumph Hurdle. He wasn't a million miles away behind Boban and the likes of Pied Piper and Night Salute, and he gets weight here significantly.
I think he's a big chance. I think he's a massive.
Yeah,
chance.
I mean he's getting the weight from both of them. Like he's getting 8 pounds, which and Dan Skelton, you'd assume that he'd have him ready to roll here, and he's won fresh before Dr. Parnassus, so yeah, he's probably a bit under. But don't write off the Joseph Bryan's filly either. She won really well the first time out. She's an import from France. She won really well down in Killarney even. She beat Henry de Bromhead mare there because still the pair of them came about 50 lengths clear of everything else. She jumped a bit out to her right, which obviously wouldn't be ideal. But you'd like to think that Joseph's got her schooling again and she'll be better this time. And look, this race just end the years is interesting. You often get a Triumph Hurdle type of horse. It's a nice option for a 4-year-old who's ran well, like Pied Piper. And often they come and win this, the likes of Kel Destan and So Royal have come back and won this race, and it's a nice starting point for them. But you often get a type of horse that's maybe run through the summer as well, maybe a bit more battle hardened that way or fit. The likes of I Like to Move It won last season kind of came from Pearl of the West, where John McConnell won this in 2018 as well. There was a horse that ran through the summer. So the Triumph Hurdle type horses, they will naturally be concentrated on by people because they just think they have a class angle here, but they have to give away a lot of weight. So like an option could be you could lay the bow with them. Pied Piper and Night Salute should be like an Asian handicap kind of way, doing it for a small half your stake. More than half your stake might go if one of them wins. But if you do get the clear out Dr. Parnassus or Billis until they're winning, you have a nice little payout there. So there's ways to play the race, I think. And my main angle would be to take on the front two here first time out.
Of course, the thing also is this is a race that is going to tell Gordon and going to tell Milton Harris whether dreams that they might be good enough in their second season to go down the Champion Hurdle route are realistic or wild. They're not easy to place, these horses, if you don't go down the Champion Hurdle route. That's your problem. Barry, what do you think here?
I don't trust Pied Piper to go and win here. I think handicaps are in mind later on in the season. As Ronan said, there's excuses for him. He hasn't left a lot for me to say about Dr. Parnassus. I think certainly at the prices at the moment, he's the one to play here. Gets plenty of weight, the fresh angle. Skeleton's going really, really well. 27% strike rate. So, at the prices, he's too big. 5-1. He's one of my better fancies on Saturday at the prices.
On to the 3:15 then. The 888 Sport Handicap Chase. 2 miles, 60 grand in the pot here. Edited to Gee top weight. And we got two really informed horses clashing here. Clear the runway is 4 from 4. And also El Baracho is 3 from 3, last 3 starts. And then, bless him, Mr. Mullins sends Dad's Lad over, who actually runs here, but did have more than one entries. Brian Hayes is getting on a plane across to ride. But he probably will have to go better than he did at Listolta Feature here, I would think, won't he, Ronan?
Yeah, I liked him at Listowel, Mike. I backed him at a decent price there. Saw him go off favourite. I thought he'd run a big race. And he did run okay. He was 5th, but I just was expecting a bit more from him there. I thought he was well handicapped over hurdles. It might be a case that he's just a better horse over fences. But I'm not sure that theory completely stacks up, or you have to question it at least, because he did win on the flat at Galway. Showing his kind of prowess there on the flat. So I thought he'd be at least as good over hurdles as he is over fences. And in that case, he would have been well handicapped. So he was a bit disappointing for me. This race again, Mike, is just interesting. It's this time of year, isn't it? It's you're taking the clear the runway, the top of the favourite, the top of the market there for Luca Morgan, and he's the summer type of horse who's progressed through the summer, keep winning and has the fitness angle, and you're taking on the editor-in-chief there for Gary Moore, who's your kind of typical winter horse, course and distance form, good course and distance form, Cheltenham. And it's just interesting from that way. Like I think the angle here might be Joe Tizard's horse, the Widowmaker, who can run off the same mark he did, despite finishing 3rd in the Grade 1 at Aintree. He's only had the 3 starts over fences, this horse. And I just thought that was a good run at Aintree behind Miller's Bank. And the handicappers left him alone for that. That's Grade 1 form. Coming back to 2 miles is interesting as well. As I said, he's only had 3 starts. He won at Exeter. He beat a horse there called Coconut Splash. It's a nice form. And he was second then at Chepstow, pulled miles clear with a horse called Emir Sakri. There's only 3 starts over fences. So I think he's lots of scope to improve. And he won in his seasonal debut last season, which is could be significant here. So he should be ready to do himself justice at least. So the Widowmaker will probably be my way in. I think he's around 8-1.
And just add to that, they were talking that they might run this horse in the Haldon Gold Cup at Exeter at the start of next month, which is a Grade 2. And if that is seriously where they're pointing, horse surely has to win this. Barry, what do you make of it?
I think the favourite will continue its winning streak. It's put up a good sequence, hasn't it? It's cleared the runway. Trainer, decent form. The Morgan's going at, I think it's 20% strike rate at the moment. So stable in form, 5 from 7 over fences. Match fitness on side. I think it hasn't won at Cheltenham. That's the one worry. No course form, but I think it will continue. It's look, it didn't get a massive hike for its last win, 10-length winner at Worcester on the 12th of September, and it's gone up £7 since. That's the one for me, Mike. I think will be difficult to beat. There's only 7 runners in the race, 5-2 the favourites. I think it will be difficult to beat.
Barry, anything else that's caught your eye this weekend?
Well, yeah, obviously the last race to look at there is the 4:25, Mike, and I like Malheur Mission for John McConnell. And in fact, don't hear my thoughts. Let's hear the thoughts now of Mr. John McConnell. John, it's been a good year so far. 10 winners on the all-weather and 22 winners over jumps, and it's only October.
Yeah, we've been happy with the progress. We've been making steady progress year by year, so we've kept it going this year. So yeah, it's good.
Traditionally, I suppose, John, you would target the Cheltenham October meet, and I counted 9 entries for this weekend in total. 9 horses entered, plenty more entries, but must be a busy week for you.
Yeah, I think we're sending 8 of them anyway. So it's we've all the work kind of done now. They're heading off tomorrow, so it's good to be going there. It's a lovely meeting to start off Cheltenham, and hopefully we have a couple of chances.
No trouble. That's in the 135 likely to run.
Yeah, he goes. He came out of his win in Downpatrick very well. We're really happy with him. I think a nice fast run 2 miles will suit him. He jumps very well and he travels well. So it's going to be very competitive. Kieran Buckley's gone over to ride him. So yeah, we're hopeful, but it's going to be a competitive race, you know.
Yeah, one of the most interesting races on the Friday card, John, the 245. Now you've 3 entered in here. Wild Shot, he's had plenty of racing on the all-weather. Bella Bliss and Wrexham. Wrexham looks an interesting one. It's quite lightly raced.
Yeah, he's a real nice horse. He's done very little wrong for us. He's also entered in the 3 mile novice on the Saturday, so he'll go to one of them. I'm not sure what we're doing yet. Bella Bliss won't run, so it's between him and Wild Shot for that race.
Yeah, and how's Wrexham come out of his race in Killarney, because that was his most recent start. 5-length winner was impressive.
Yeah, he had a nice break after it, and he's back raring to go now. He's in very good form. We're very happy with him. So wherever he goes, he'll have a nice chance in it, I'd say.
Good ground, soft ground. I suppose it was good ground for both of his wins this season. Good to yielding down Patrick. For 2, is the ground?
I don't think it matters too much once it's not an extreme going. I think he'll be fine on, good soft. He should be fine on. So we're not worried about that aspect of it anyway.
Is he one that you've big high hopes for this season?
Yeah, he would be. Like, he's got a little bit to go yet, but he's been very progressive and he works well at home. He's very enthusiastic horse. So that all helps. So yeah, we're hopeful now that he can keep progressing.
Brilliant. Seddon, I did see that was entered in a handicap. Is he likely to run?
Yeah, he goes as well. We bought him off the McNeil's last about 2 months ago now, the McNeil family, and he's given a lot of fun so far. He was second in Cartmel and then was placed in Navan. So he's going for 2.5 mile handicap hurdle. He's actually really well. So he's going to give the lads that got into him a big trail going there, and hopefully he can be competitive. Ben Harvey's going to ride him and take 7 off him. Big
syndicate involved in that one.
There is a good syndicate and very well run syndicate by Derek and Johnny, and this is their first kind of foray into the jumps horse, so they've had a lot of fun with him so far, and hopefully he can add to it then on Friday.
Super. Fenner Cross, now he's entered in the maiden, quite lately raced also.
Yeah, he's only had the one run, a very good run in the maiden hurdle in Galway. Obviously he's won the flat 4 times for us. Ran well in Dan Ryle in his latest run. He's going. We're very happy with him. He jumps very well. He should run a big race.
Super. One of the stable stars, John, last season, rated 141 after 6 runs over hurdles. Malheur Mission. He's entered in a novice chase, but achieved a fair level over hurdles.
Yeah, he was a very good hurdler. Won a grade 2 and a listed hurdle last year as a novice. Ran well in the Albert Bartlett as well. So he's going chasing. He goes to Cheltenham as well. He runs on Saturday. Obviously it's a nice track to introduce him on. Hopefully he'll be going back there in March with a bit of luck. So yeah, we're hopeful that he'll run a big race. He's jumped school well and he's in good nick.
One horse that is entered in Cheltenham, and I did want to mention in the 5 o'clock, was an expensive purchase. Incanto Bruno is entered in the bumper. He could be a nice horse, could he?
Yeah, he's a lovely horse. He won well in Cork for us, and he's in very good form at home. It's quite a competitive looking bumper, but we're going to take our chance with him, and it'll tell us where we're going then for the rest of the year. He's been doing everything right at home, so we're hopeful he'll go close.
And it would be the plan to send him hurdling sooner rather than later, or would you keep him the bumpers this season?
Well, he's still a baby. He's only a 4-year-old, so if he happened to win on Saturday, we might stick to the bumper route for the year and wait. If he doesn't, we might go hurdling, or he might justify getting a break. He hasn't had much of a break since he won his point to point, and then he came to us and we got him ready for a bumper. So I'd say either way he'll get a little break after this, and we'll make a plan then.
Type of a character is he, John?
Very laid back, a typical Mahler, kind of a plain looking horse, but a laid back type of horse, and stays all day. But he's a bit of class to him, so hopefully he can show that on Saturday. Yeah,
super. I'm sure he is one that's you're looking forward to this season for sure. A couple to mention that don't have entries this weekend. Obviously, one of the stable stars, Anna Bonina. How is she?
She's good, yeah. She was due to run in Goran a couple of weeks ago, and she just had a little setback, but she's fine now. All the roads kind of lead back to the Scottish Champion Hurdle for her, so that's where we'll be going. That's what the target will be, and probably trying to win a nice handicap on the flat with her over kind of 1.6 miles, 2 miles. So they're the 2 targets for next year. She's on a little break at the minute, but she'll be back in soon.
Chinks of Light?
Yeah, he was sore after his fall the last day, fell in Downpatrick, and he hurt his shoulder, but he's back now. He'll probably go back hurling for the time being. He might be one that could end up in a Pertemps qualifier somewhere, and he's probably not badly handicapped over hurdles at the minute, and then we'll go chasing again next year. But he's definitely one with a lot of ability.
Ransor, how's he?
Yeah, he's good. He came out of his win in Cork really well. He'll probably go to the Cheltenham meeting in November now for a long distance novice hurdle, and then after that, I suppose we'll make a proper plan then for the spring. He wouldn't be a winter ground horse, so hopefully the ground stays okay for Cheltenham in November, and then we'll give him a little break. But he's a real nice horse. He'd be a better chaser. He's a huge horse, and the hurdle's kind of getting in his way. But he's a big engine on him.
Fantastic. And horse that you're most looking forward to seeing this season that maybe hasn't run yet?
That hasn't run. We bought a nice 3-year-old from France, a horse called Jackpot de Chazelle. He's a 3-year-old. He'd won a French bumper. Jumps really, really well. He should be out before Christmas. So he's a nice horse to look forward to. Not sure how good or bad he is yet, but he really catches the eye on the gallop. So he's one to look forward to. Whatever he does over hurdles, he'll be a better chaser. But he jumps really well, and he's a big engine on him.
Docks obviously on Friday, but one or two maybe throughout the winter that we should be keeping our eye on.
In Dundalk, I haven't got a big team for it at the minute. I'm trying to gather up a team for it. Let me see. I suppose the one I'm looking forward to most probably is a filly called Rockview Consort. She's been placed in a few maidens on the turf, but she was third in Dundalk on her first run for us, but she'll go back there before Christmas for a 1.25 mile maiden, and she'll take a lot of beating.
John, absolute pleasure. Wish you the best for this weekend. We know you love the Cheltenham October Festival, and I'm sure we can catch up at some point later on the season. Best of luck,
Great.
John.
Thanks a million. Cheers.
That is John McConnell. Any final thoughts on other races, Ronan, before we wrap this up and get you to put your head in the noose with the tips?
Look, I think John McConnell's a good chance there with Malor Mission. Probably, used to form over hurdles there last season. That's a good little race. Life in the Park is a horse that I thought would be worth following this season. He looked good on his debut over fences, and he won well at Punchestown last season. He beat a horse there called Rock Road, who elevated his mark significantly since. Rock Road won 3 times during the summer. So I think Life in the Park, Henry de Romhead's horse, is definitely worth following there. I might switch codes very quickly, Mike. Flat. I'll quickly mention one at Leopardstown in the Knockar Stakes there, the listed race. Have a look for Joseph O'Brien's Federal lightly raced 4-year-old. Obviously won the Cambridgeshire last time out. I think he looks progressive enough now that he could take this listed race. Keep an eye out for him. Federal.
I'm going to say, if you look at that race we were talking about with John McConnell, fascinating. I can't believe there won't be some fun and games to be had watching social media between now and 4:25 on Saturday, when Fergal O'Brien, who is one of the great tweeterers of the world, realises it's him against the Irish. And I think he will be very much offering us a view or two. Okay, well, don't forget, we want you to get involved. Of course, you've got your competition as well. Any comments, please put them where it's indicated on the broadcast. But what we're going to do now is I'm going to have the 5 tips, please, from the 2 experts. I've had my vaccination, so I don't qualify. But after all, I don't like giving money to bookmakers, and that's what I'll be doing just at the moment. So the 5 cast then. Let's start with the Ballymore on Friday. Barry?
Mufasa.
Ronan?
Flaming Moon.
So the 4 then on Saturday are Cheltenham 205, and this is that interesting handicap chase. Ronan?
The Wolf.
And for Barry?
Neville's Cross.
Then the fascinating hurdle featuring that rematch between Knight's Salute and Pied Piper.
Dr. Parnassus.
Dr. Parnassus for Barry, and
ditto for me, yeah, Dr. Parnassus.
Then we have the 2-mile handicap chase. Editor G carries top weight. The winner is Barry.
Clear the runway for Champ.ie listeners, and make sure and get your 5 cast down below.
Trying to make it 5 in a row. Ronan?
The Widowmaker.
Fascinating horse, that. It's me. I mentioned the Pertemps, perhaps I shouldn't do them. So I've now read my running order to see that Barry left it out. Apologies for that. And so then we have that other steeplechase, the Jim Wilson Memorial. The last, the 425, goes to...
The last goes to Malheur Mission, Mr. Vince.
Ronan?
Life in the Park.
And let me get you both to nap them. So cut 5 into 1. Best of the lot is...
It comes elsewhere, Mike Vince. My nap of the weekend comes in the bumper at Cheltenham. KF Legend for Chris Gordon.
And for you, Ronan?
I'm going to take a chance. I'll take a chance on the Wolf at Cheltenham in the 3-mile handicap chase there. I think 12-1 is a fair price for him.
Want to throw in the next best, Mike? I want to throw in the next best.
All right, let's try the next best. I'm going to actually give you a horse to follow that's running at Cheltenham tomorrow, but away you go then. Next bests.
Shearer for Paul Nichols this weekend.
Shearer.
And for you, Barry? Any more? Anything to add?
Next best for me, the Widowmaker.
Right. I think I have quite a strong message that a horse called Twin Jets, which runs in the last at Cheltenham on Friday, might go very well. We will see.
Mike.
That is it.
Mike,
That's
Mike,
the first edition.
Mike, hello.
Yes.
It's not it. It's not it, because little treat for Champ.ie listeners. We now are going to hear from the Shark Hanlon. Of course, the American...
Left him to the last and hope he was up in time. Because I understand that he went off to America saying Nessun Dorma, singing Nessun Dorma amongst other things. But this is a man with a remarkable story to tell. And for once, I suspect the drinks went on Willie Mullins' winners at Bagnall's Tamp. Here's Shark.
Well, John, look, listen, it's brilliant to have you on the show. Huge congratulations to you. And must have been a trip of a lifetime.
Trip of a lifetime. It was brilliant. So it was like And it was great. We had Paddy and Sean and Rash and myself. We were all there. We went to New York for 2 days or 3 days first, and then we went down to where the horse was. And listen, we knew when we landed he was in good form. And just listen to Mikey, so it was. The horse didn't get home yet now. It could be maybe a week's time before he got home, but I didn't mind because he wanted his bit of a break after the race because he's going on holidays now, and for a couple of months, and we'll come back then and see what happens.
Morning, Paddy. That's a presentation de la Salle uniform, is it?
This big guy, he's Linda. He's going to school. He missed the whole week last week, so now he has to make up for it now.
How's Miss Burke?
How's Miss Burke in there?
He's grand God today to me, and everyone's grand today to me, and it's just mad.
It's been some week for you lads, and tell us. I suppose John, the phone mustn't have stopped popping. You were Doncaster yesterday, so it's back to reality pretty quick.
Cheers. I'm fairly tired now today, to tell you the truth, because when I came back from America the day before, and we went to Tipperary School in Horses yesterday morning, and I asked Gas, when you go to Tipperary there and start school in Horses, and everyone coming up to you, congratulate you. A lot of people saw the race. I was amazed when I came home how many people saw the race. Even my own local pub here in Paulstown, and below in John Glennon's below in Royal Oak, everyone had it on, and their cheers, and Paulstown won a county final on that day, and the pub was full, and Jesus, it was amazing. It was just like that. They said the roars and the cheers, the danced on the street, So like, it's for the parish, for everyone, it's very, very good. So it is.
When he does get home, John, is there a parade planned potentially?
Yeah, definitely. If he's home for Friday week, which I think he will be, we're talking about bringing him into Greyhound track in Kilkenny, because my brother won the Greyhound Derby in Dublin there a couple of weeks ago as well. So we'll go there, and we'll go down to my local pub here, Glendon's in the Royal Oak. So we'll give it 2 little sparks to the rang out with the Greyhound track, looking to know whether to bring him in, and the dogs go in the same night. So we'll have the dog Greyhound Derby winner and himself there. So it's been brilliant. We'll let everyone know. We'll be on social media around that.
Super. Well, it's from Shelbourne Park to Fairhills. Not a bad couple of weeks. And
great call. Listen, a great year. Like we started off this 12 months ago. This horse started off. He won the Dorman National only last Sunday, right? Last year, and he went from there, and he won in the Bet 365, which is a huge thing. It's one of the biggest races over the year in England.
Sandown, yeah.
And Sandown, yeah. And then we came back for a Galway plate, and he won that, which was amazing, because all my life I wanted to win a Galway plate. When you were a young lad racing, like, just the big one of the year the whole time. So, like, everyone wants to have a winner in Cheltenham and that, but like, Galway is probably the Cheltenham of Ireland, and we're probably very unlucky then in this stall. Just barely clipped the top of it, and went on then and went to America, which a lot of people thought I was mad, but they know me anyway, so I'm half mad anyway, so it doesn't make any difference. And to go and win that race was unreal. The crowds over there, the Irish people that are in America is unreal, and the number of Irish people that are in America is unreal. And the
was super coverage. It was super coverage, John. We were watching it. Davy Boland now has become on the show the odd time, and sure, he was doing interviews with yourself and Paddy. Super coverage.
Oh, unreal. Davy Boland was very, very good. He took interviews with the owner, the whole lot of us done interviews, and in fairness, we were very well welcome over there. Listen, it was a big call to do, because it cost a lot of money to get there. But listen, it's great to have it done now. It's one after notch, and it's worth a lot of money. And I wouldn't be a bit afraid to go back again next year, and they're telling me that it's going to be worth more next year than it was this year.
Super. Paddy, does the horse miss you more, or do you miss the horse? There was a good story when you landed in America.
Yeah, when Dad got out of the car and Mum got out of the car, there was nothing. And when I got out of the car, he started whining at me. And I love the horse. I ride him out every day before school, and he's amazing. Like, he done it amazing.
Is he a good grubber, is he?
Sorry?
Is he a good grubber?
Yes.
He is. And he eats every last bit of it anyway. And he's just amazing.
Super.
Like, he's after having a great year with him, so he is. And like, they're during the summer in the home school, and when he went back to school, he said he was riding him out there at 7 o'clock in the morning to every day, and he'd bits of work Paddy done with him, and listen, just great. And TJ, Paddy rides the flapping then, and he rides in TJ's colours, in the green colours, and like, he had a great year flapping. He won the Dingle Derby, and he won the Scottish champion jockey as well. So and Dingle is, I think everyone knows what the Dingle Derby is. It's the big one, deer.
You've had a great year as well, Paddy. And tell us, I suppose, look, Gold Cup contender, that's going to be thrown around now, John. I know you did mention the Gold Cup. Is that the plan, or will you be tempted, if the ground is good, to run him prior?
No, he'll go to the Gold Cup. He'll go to the Gold Cup now. I don't think I'll run him before it. We'll see. The good thing about this horse, he's not a hard horse to get fit, and he'll get half there till Christmas now. Like, he's after having a long year enough since this time last year, and he'll get a couple of months off there now, and we'll see if he comes very fit at the end of November or the end of February, we might give him a run. But I'd be happy going straight there. He's better fresh, and like, I wouldn't be a bit go straight to Cheltenham. Listen, it's a dream for us to have a horse to go to Cheltenham. I tell you, he's a people's horse. Everyone loves the horse. So we appreciate that. Like, we had an opening day here, and there was 300 people out here, so there were. And I came home yesterday evening, and I hadn't time to look at it yesterday, but I had letters here, from handwritten letters. You don't see many of them anymore. Postcards of people just saying well done, and that they were here. There's 2 ladies in Kilkenny there, and they sent me a lovely card. They have to send me 2 lovely cards this year, and it's just special. So it is to have it, and we'll have them for the rest of our life.
Now, you mentioned he's the people's horse, John. Look, the well wishes have been even flooded into the podcast if people knew that you were coming on. And a couple of messages that did come through. One man was actually at Fairhills on Saturday, and some messages coming through.
Yeah, no, it's great.
Barry, I'd just like to start off. I want to wish you the very best of the season ahead with Champ.ie. I'm a big follower of your podcast. It's just wonderful. My congratulations, and also I want to offer the SHARK Hanlon an opportunity to come and work for me, to run my next campaign for the American election in 2020. I'm not sure what year it is, but whatever it is, the Shark has spent really small, 800 something like euros, and has won over 500,000. It's not his fault that the people of Kerry robbed him in the Kerry National, and I put that down to Pat Healy. Apparently he snapped at the wrong time, and Hewick didn't like the flash. That's the reports I hear. But I just want to congratulate Shark on the performance, and consider coming running my election campaign, because I spend millions. I don't want to do that anymore, but I want you to come over, spend small amounts of money, and get me elected in the big White House again. Thank you, Shark.
We've Pascal O'Donoghue as well, Shark.
On behalf of the people of Ireland and of the people in the Department of Finance, I'd like to congratulate the SHARK Hanlon on what has been an amazing success in America. Winning this kind of money for such a small investment is really special. And I'd also like to wish you, Barry, the best of luck with Champ.ie for the season. The Department of Finance would now like to offer the Shark Hanlon a job, because what we do in the department is we spend huge amounts of money and we get very, very little return. But the Shark Hanlon has this magic touch of investing small amounts of money and getting huge returns. So I'd like to follow in on Donald and offer him, the Shark, a job with us in the Department of Finance. And again, it'll take a bit of getting used to spending huge amounts of money and getting no return. But that's perfectly acceptable in where we work. Congratulations on the wonderful success in America.
I'm not sure what way you were for flights as well, but there was one last message, John, that came through.
Thanks, Barry. Look, I just want to come on, congratulate the Shark and ask him if there's any chance that maybe he'd take 3 or 4 of the Jigginstown horses, and maybe if he could buy a few horses for us at 600 or 700 or 800 euros and turn them out on what he's done. That would be just absolutely amazing. And well done. Brilliant performance by Hewick. And, you know, I suppose next time if you're going to the States, don't forget, we at Ryanair be delighted to fly a horse of the quality of Hewick. And well done and congratulations again.
So as I said, John, plenty of well wishes. I don't think you know what was going on at the start there, but just a little feature we're going to have on the show right throughout the season. Bit of fun, bit of light-hearted stuff. So there you go. Look, I suppose, what you make of all that?
Sure, it's great fun. So it is great fun. Listen, it's amazing. It's great. It's great. Everything like is great. And now we have Hewick. He's finished for the season, and we have Sky Ace back in, and she'll run there at the end of the month. And she's in the same colours now as Hewick. And I'm looking forward to her coming back there, because I tell you, we had 2 grade 1s in the last year. We never had a grade 1 before. We had 2 grade 1s in the last year, and between the two of them, they cost 1,300 quid. So, you know, that's an achievement in itself. You know that to be able to pick up the like of them horses. But them days are gone. The horses are gone dear. And I was in Doncaster yesterday, and horses are gone dear. Horses are gone very dear. There seems to be a great trade from out Forden now. So those horses were a couple of years ago.
Was going forward, look, you have a couple of entries the weekends, horses for the season, Shark. I suppose, is there any particular horse that you're looking forward that we haven't maybe seen racing yet for the national season?
I have a horse there, Fascinating Shadow. Worked in Tipperary the other day. Now he has won. He won his maiden hurl in Cork, but I'm really looking forward to him now. I think he's something special. And
what's the name of him?
Fascinating Shadow.
Lovely.
And I have 2 French horses, 2 4-year-olds that I can't think of their names offhand, because I don't name the horses. Rachel names the horses. Mento is one of them. Momento is one. I think he's a very good horse. He might go to Cheltenham for the November bumper in Cheltenham. He has never ran yet. I think he's a bit special.
Fantastic. Well, look, come here, Paddy. I know you've presentation de la salle duties, and John, you've to probably get back to duties in the yard, but it's been an absolute pleasure talking to you. As you said, the people's horse, and look forward to getting down if there is a parade. When is he expected home, did you say?
I was only on about it last night. I'm hoping that he'll be home for the Greyhound track in Kenny next Friday. It's Friday week, and I'd say on Saturday we'll go up to the Royal Oak, and we have to get a few pints at some stage. We didn't get much time to drink yet. But
didn't ask you that. Is the Bagnall on the cards?
Sure, we'll probably end up there at some stage. You know yourself now. But we'll go down to John Glennon's in the Royal Oak first. I'd say we'll bring down the horse as far as there. He was asking me to bring him down after Galway, and I said, we'll wait till we win in America. No, I didn't think it worked like that, but it did. So we'll definitely go down there. It's the nearest pub to my own place here. And we'll give it a bash down there. So
you get to fry up the next morning in John Glennon's anyway, that's for sure.
Yeah, he's a good man for food.
John, it's a pleasure. Listen, lads, wish you the best, and I look forward to seeing you in person.
But don't forget, you get involved. We want your 5 casts. We want your comments. We want the competition. Thanks go to our sponsors as well. This new app is going to be very exciting indeed, and we will see you very soon. For those of you who still need to know who they are, and as long as you don't work for Scotland Yard, they are Ronan Groome, and Barry Doyle. See you soon.
Inside the final 150 yards, this is a special pair, and it's a hands full of grace. And it's Energumen opening up a clear advantage in the closing stages. A breath of fresh air over fences is going to stay at the helm of the 2 mile novices. Energumen by